Good morning. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to tell you my secret that's not a secret anymore. I have agoraphobia. It's a deeper portion of anxiety disorder, like major anxiety disorder, not just a little, panic attack here and there, but like every day fighting it. And I go through phases where years doesn't come up, and then it flares and I get agoraphobia and I don't want to leave the house, can't leave the house. And it was about 2 years. My friend Jay, rest in peace, Jay, helped me through it. Jason saved my life. Bill Tice, Linda Tice, Andy, Callan, Brian, the list goes on. My crew, my sister, my brother, my sister-in-law, they all have helped me through it. And I normally wouldn't tell people, but I want to tell people because you're not alone. I thought I was alone. I thought I was going to die. I didn't want to die, but I just couldn't handle it anymore. Getting teary-eyed talking about it. So I have agoraphobia and I own a vintage store because that's the way I can work for myself and still be employed, because I definitely couldn't do a 9 to 5 job with anxiety disorder as bad as I have it. So now, I've been painting for years, but recently in the last couple of years, I got really into painting. And that's because I started out with coloring books, suggested, of course, online by, when you have anxiety, these adult coloring books. So you're always coloring. And when I would get done, I was like, well, I spent hours on this one page and, it was fun and all and therapeutic. It kept my mind off anxiety and made me start thinking more positive, as simple as just distracting yourself. So why not use the paints that I sell and paint more furniture? Instead of coloring on pages, I color on furniture. And so you do furniture in stages. So I might not have gotten out of bed that day, but I thought, I can get out of bed. I'm not going to even brush my hair. I'm not going to get dressed officially. I'm just going to wear house clothes. And I'm going to go downstairs to my painting area. And I am going to at least get that first coat of paint on. That's why I always say, just get started. Because that's me. I was like, just start. Don't worry about it. Just start. Just get that first ugly coat on. That's when you just put the paint on. You're not worried about, perfection. You're just applying the first coat on. And when I would do that, even if I had to go back upstairs and hang in the bed and be sad for the next hour or two, then I knew it was dry downstairs. And I thought, I can at least get out of this bed and go downstairs and now work on this second layer and the third layer and the fourth. And eventually, over some time, sometimes it took up to 2 weeks of doing it, because I would put it aside and have days where I couldn't get out of bed. And the project would be waiting for me downstairs. So eventually, little steps made a project be fulfilled. Instead of having a coloring book with a page I colored and spent hours, I had a piece of furniture that I could actually resell and use to pay my bills, because I was basically unemployable. But I don't like that word. I don't believe in unemployable. I think we all have our own thing. I think we're raised, in my generation, when I graduated in the 80s, you were told you're going to get a state job, you're going to get a 9 to 5 job, you're going to get the benefits, you're going to get health care. That's the way to go. Get married right out of, high school, have children, and be a stay-at-home mom even. And I knew that didn't fit with me. I was like, I don't fit in with these girls. I don't want to do those things. I want to be selfish and not have children and have pets instead. And I want to do whatever I want to do at the time. Even sometimes I can't get out of bed. Sometimes I could travel and go to Miami or South Carolina or New Orleans. And I went places. Haven't gone anywhere in a long time because my agoraphobia has been bad for the last 5 years. So, but what I could do was admit that for some reason I didn't fit in. I did not fit the norm for what girls were told to do. Luckily, I think my mom, when I was little, she bought me a women's lib shirt. And I remember having it on. I think it was purple and it said women's lib, like a little thing holding a sign. It might have been cartoonish. And she probably doesn't realize it, but I see those pictures. Let's see if I can find that picture. And I remember thinking, even my mom back in the early 70s dressed me with women's lib And it was probably just because the shirt was purple and cute and it was a cute little thing. But I thought, wow, I always grew up around boys because in my neighborhood, it was always boys for some reason. A few girls, Kimmy Roundtree, hi Kimmy, Shannon Stevens, hi Shannon, and they were wonderful girls. They were, uplifting women. But as far as like, let's go shopping, let's match our hair, let's do this, let's do that, I didn't fit in. So I grew up with boys. My dad was a fisherman. We always went on these fishing trips and fishing tournaments, and they were mostly men with their wives and their kids. And it just happened to be there was more boys than girls. There was a girl named Elena. Shout out to Elena. Bill Horde and Gary Bear and all these people I grew up with. But anyways, I was around boys and I thought, why can't I be the boys? Why can't I go play in the tree? Why can't I go look at the gross tadpoles and get in the mud and look at the crawfish? And I want to do that. And I still like to wear dresses. I'm still girly. I still prefer pink, but I also prefer black. I like either gothic industrial music or I like classical and reggae and lighthearted music. I just didn't fit into the middle gray spot. So basically what I'm rambling about is do what you want. Go with what you can. Even if you have, quote, a disability and are unable to function normally, whatever that is, take baby steps. What can you today? Can you not get out of bed today? That's fine. Can you read a book? Can you watch something on Instagram? Sorry, YouTube. Can you watch a TED Talk? Can you send a motivational message to someone's hurting on social media like they're having a bad day? You're in bed, can't get dressed, crying your eyes out, but you can still say, hey girl, I've got your back. If you need me, call me. That little message saves lives. So many people kill themselves not because they want to die, but because they're hurting. And a simple message. I remember one night, I didn't think I could go any further. I was miserable and I couldn't sleep and I was crying. And my friend Jay had gotten off work. He's a DJ. Was a DJ. He was a sound guy. He's more than a DJ. He was a lot of things to everyone in this town. So Jay sent me a message. He goes, I'm heading home. I got chocolate chip cookies. Do you want one? And I said, I do, but I don't want to see anyone. I'm too embarrassed to come to the door. I don't know what to do. And he said, okay. About 30 minutes later, he said, I'm home. I hope you can sleep. If not, call me. But by the way, there's a chocolate chip cookie for you outside on your patio. I left it out there. If you want it, you got to get out of bed. You got to come downstairs and get it. You don't have to see me. You don't have to get dressed. You don't have to brush your hair. But that cookie's waiting for you because basically that cookie saved me that night. It was a simple act of kindness. My friend Callan would check in on me. I didn't want him to come to my house. I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to be talked to, but he would send me a message like, hey there, how you doing today? What's going on today? Just checking in. My friend Andy, who's miraculously able to do everything. She's been in the military. She has children and she does crafting and she makes signs and she cooks and she can do anything. And at first I was intimidated and I thought, I can't hang with her. I'm worse than. And she would simply, in the middle of everything else she was doing, send me a message. Hi, thinking of you. Look at this picture. This is funny. Check this out. Saves me. Got me out of bed. And my sister-in-law Melissa was like, hey, at Lake Eller, they're having this event. I'm going to be there. If you want to show up, show up. And I was like, I don't want to see people. I don't want anything. But she's like, just come for a few minutes. And I literally would go sometimes. I would walk out of the car, go see her. I would get so shaken up and anxious that I would see Wendy from Quarter Moon and all these people that I loved and used to hang out with and go to meetings with for business stuff. And I could not even keep myself from crying or feeling like I was going to throw up from nerves and get back in my car and go home. But Melissa got me out. And my mom hung in there even when I couldn't even talk to her because I couldn't explain what was wrong with me. I couldn't explain to anyone what was wrong because I didn't understand it myself. So basically, it's okay not to get out of bed today. It's okay not to fit in. It's okay not to be the norm. There is no norm anymore. Be honest. Anyone can do anything. Do what you want. People pick on, and I'm not gay or lesbian or transgendered or whatever, but why do people pick on these people? I shouldn't say these people. People who are born that way. People who love another person. What is wrong with that? I would rather you be gay than be an asshole. And see, I hate to say that because that makes it sound like gay something's wrong. There's nothing wrong with being gay or being different, transgendered, not fitting in, not wanting going shopping. I own a store that sells clothing and jewelry and all, and I still detest doing that little girl shopping thing where let's meet and let's wear the same thing and let's do this and take our selfies. Sorry, I'm not into it. I'd rather have that one or two good friends that, I'm having a bad day, I'm going to pop in. If I see you, I see you. If I don't, I don't. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Sorry about this ramble, but Jason just left for work and I'm sitting here working on this project behind me, and I realized as miserable as I am on some days, especially because this is the anniversary tonight and tomorrow morning of Jay's death, as miserable as I am, and as almost I lost it, I almost lost my life because I couldn't get out of bed, and people like Jason stood by me when nobody else would. Callan, Brian, my friend, Andy, Linda Tice, Bill Tice posting pictures of smash the stigmas, here's the suicide hotline. Every day he would say hug him and love him, and I thought, I wouldn't want to do that to my family. I'll sit here in this bed and figure out what I can do today and go downstairs and paint. I can maybe put some clothes on, brush my hair a little bit, play with the cat, play with the dog. But anyways, and then Dr. Madsen, who's in Tallahassee, Florida, told me, is a great man. He's a bishop in his church, and I'm not that religious, I'm more spiritual. And he said, it's okay. You don't have to get out of bed today. But what can you do? And then he says to me all the time, look how far you've come. You can make it to these appointments to meet with me, and before you couldn't even get out of bed. You can make these appointments. Even if you have to leave, even if you have to cry, even if you have to throw up from stress, you can get out of the house again. So thanks to my sister, Kayla, Jamie, Dylan. Thank you, Dylan, for sending me funny videos many a time. Even now that he's more geared towards his gigs and doing better and bigger things than the other side, he still sends me funny messages. So even when his mom is dealing with such major health issues herself, he still reaches out and sends me funny things. So thank you for the tribe that saved my life. If you're sitting at home watching this and you're miserable, heartbroken, cancer, anxiety, mental stress, hate your job because you thought that's what you went to college for, and now you're where you're supposed to be making really good money but hating it, you can change one step at a time. You're in a marriage you hate, you can make the choice to be friendly to that person and still love them and get divorced if you have to, or stay and work it out. But either way, do something good today. Even if it's 10 seconds, tell yourself it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay not to fit in. It's okay to just do one thing. So instead of coloring pages, I'm coloring furniture. Thank you for supporting our local business. It's the only way that I can stay employed and be productive and pay my bills. And I am so grateful to be able to do that for the last 19 years, and especially these last 5 years when the crew had to take over, when I couldn't even go to my own store or meet people or have meetings. I had to rely on them to support me while I was down. So thank you, grateful, thankful, blessed to be here. Until you go through it, you don't realize how much it is to be that simple little message. How are you doing today? Thinking of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Reach out to someone. Even if you're hurting, send a little message. Thinking of you, proud of you. You're so amazing. Thank you for being you. Do that. Take care of your tribe. Get up, get out of bed, do something.